Hi, I'm Amber from Influencer Updates on Instagram, and tonight I'm going to be talking about the three biggest news stories of the week in Australian influencer world. They would be, in my opinion, Davies' hens party, and then the fact that Lucy, Nikki, and Lily were all in attendance, and they are rivals. Veruca Salt, she has created a GoFundMe for fertility treatment. And finally, Skye Wheatley, she has reflected on her surgeries, and her reflection was very interesting. So yes, I'll start with Davies. So as I mentioned, she had a hens party this week. She is getting married next month, I believe, in Perth, or in Western Australia, I should say. I believe it's outside of Perth. But yeah, she had a hens party in Bali. It was her first time away from her daughter, Isla. And yeah, her best friends Lily Brown as well as Lucy Jackson and Nikki Westcott were in attendance. So about 5 years ago now, it's crazy, it's been 5 years. Lucy Jackson, Nikki Westcott, Davies and Lily Brown, they were like inseparable, the four of them. They holidayed together to Mexico, they did so much together, and then they had a big falling out. Well, Lily had a falling out with Lucy and Nikki, but Davies has remained friends with the three of them. So, of course, for her hens party, well, interestingly, for her engagement party, Lucy and Nikki didn't go, but they were hosting some festival. So I'm wondering if maybe they had booked in that job before Em announced the date of her engagement party, and then they said, sorry, we actually can't attend. But then you'd think Em would move it if they were that great friends. I don't know what happened there, but they did all attend the hens party in Bali, and it looked very epic. Like, they looked like they were having so much fun and all getting very lit, as the young people say. However, Lily surprised everybody by, well, earlier this year, she mentioned that it's like a goal of hers lately. She's eating clean and not drinking alcohol and getting lots of sleep and feeling great. And she took those values to Bali with her, and she did not drink alcohol, which was very surprising. I feel like it would have been very tough for her, being that she loves to tell everybody that Davies is her best friend and make sure that everybody knows that she's her bestie and she's M's bestie. And I feel like she would have felt very uncomfortable that Lucy and Nikki were there, especially that they were like getting really drunk with them and partying a lot with them. But this is just me speculating, by the way. Like, this could not be true. This could maybe not be true, but I feel like that's how they would feel. And yeah, Lily had to respond to people that she is not pregnant. That is not the reason why she isn't drinking. It's just for health reasons. But yeah, there were lots of photos of the three of them at the hens party, but they were never together in a photo. They were in a video of like the room. They were sort of near each other at one point. But yeah, I think they sort of just kept their distance from each other, kept civil for the sake of M, and had their own fun. Nikki was asked on like a Q&A on Instagram today. She was asked, how was it with Lily being at M's hens party? And Nikki was like, oh my gosh, like, everyone needs to stop asking this. It's been 5 years. Everything was totally fine. Like, it's all good. But yeah, Lily has explained many times that the reason why they're not friends is because Lucy and Nikki, befriended her ex-boyfriend Jerome after they broke up, even though she was besties with the girls. And my personal theory, based on a podcast that Lucy did of people that she's dated since she broke up with Matty, who was her long-term partner, my theory is that Lucy hooked up with Jerome after he broke up with Lily. I don't know how long after, maybe not at all, maybe I am completely wrong with this, but that is just my personal theory. And then the final bit of drama, I suppose, to come out of Davies' hens party is her outfits of choice. So she had a baby 5 months ago. She always made it very clear all through her pregnancy that her goal was bounce back. She used those words. She was very open about it. She was planning to be hotter than she was pre-pregnancy, and she is that. She is very slim, very toned, very fit, very tanned, very everything. And she was in very skimpy outfits in Bali. Bali is extremely hot, so good on her. I wish I could wear stuff like that and look as good as her. A lot of her outfits were just like a little bra top and a mini skirt, and she had a visible G-string hanging out the back that said Mrs. G, because her new surname is going to be Gambin. Her partner is Joel Gambin. And that obviously made national news, maybe even international news, people saying it was quite tacky that she's a mum and dancing around like that and having her G-string out. But honestly, haters gonna hate. And then she also had another outfit, which was a completely see-through mesh dress, I suppose, which then had like flowers embroidered onto it in places that you wanted covered, which was basically just her boobs and her down under region. But yeah, she looked great. All right, so I'm going to just see what people are saying about that before I move on to the next story. I need to come back to Anna Paul. A few people are asking about her. Oh, lots of people talking about the Australian Open as well. Okay, no one's actually asking about M. Davies. Okay, so I might just go through some questions. So can you talk about Paulie Skin and how terrible their shipping / customer service is? Well, yes, I only ever hear bad things. I hear that they have these huge big sales where Anna gets on TikTok and gives out free prizes to everybody, like Dyson Air Wraps and iPads and cameras and things, and she gets a huge influx of orders, and then they can't process those orders quick enough, and then everything sells out. And it's skincare. People don't want to be chopping and changing, and they can't get like the cleanser that they want. So yeah, I haven't heard great things, and they restock very sporadically, like maybe only every 6 months or something. So yeah, that's what there is to talk about, I suppose. What are your thoughts on influencers, example Hannah and Sam, attending the Australian Open and clearly having no knowledge or real interest in match or sport in general? Well, my thought on influencers doing that is that all of these influencers attending the Australian Open made me attend the Australian Open. I was like getting major FOMO. They were making it look so incredible. So I did take my 2 daughters. I spoke about this on my live last week. I took my 2 daughters on my own to the Australian Open, and I will just say it was incredible. It is a festival. It's not just the tennis. It is a whole festival. You can spend a whole day there and not even watch a game of tennis. So I don't know, if I was invited to an event there, I would 100% go, even if I wasn't interested in the tennis. And I couldn't even go into the tennis because I didn't trust my 2 and 4-year-olds to be quiet. So yeah, fair enough that they want to attend, but also I'm getting a little bit bored that every single brand, like Chemist Warehouse and probably Buy Bambi, I don't know, all the brands, Bondi Sands, they're all taking the same influencers. And these influencers are going 3 or 4 times to the Australian Open. It's like, just spread the love a little bit. Like, let other people go. That would be better. But it worked. As I said, I ended up going. Can you talk about the New Zealand influencer cheating on her husband and now dating an ex-cop who went to jail for grape? That is me talking about it. I suppose that's all I have to say. I have been messaged about that a lot, but it is what it is. I can't help who she chooses to date, and I guess it's an open fact. It is in the news. Can't remember her name because she's not someone who was on my radar, but if you want to know her name, send me a DM and I'll let you know. Why didn't Tammy go to M's hen's party? I don't know. I don't know if they're close enough. I know that M didn't go to Tammy's. She did go to her wedding though, but not her hen's party. That's interesting. Maybe it was just like a clash of dates or something, but yeah, I hadn't actually thought of that. Sadly the crowd is getting too much at the tennis, and the tennis players are complaining about the drunken crowd. I don't know, I haven't heard that, but I know that you have to be silent during the tennis matches, and there's security people making sure of that. People here are saying that there's a name suppression on the Queensland influencer poisoning her daughter case. There is not a name suppression, but it's legally, the media can't name her because it identifies the victim of the crime, because it is her daughter. So that is why the media is avoiding saying her name, but it is not illegal to name her on TikTok. Like, I can name her, but I just feel that it's probably best not to. Did Tattle really close? No, they closed for 14 hours a la TikTok and came back. I think that they saw what happened with TikTok. It caused a big frenzy, and they're like, cool, we might replicate that. They're saying that somebody threatened a member of their family who has nothing to do with Tattle, and they're now going to take legal action against that person, but I don't believe that story. That just sounds weird to me. Did the mum who poisoned her baby get bail or does she go next week for it? So yeah, she goes next week for it on Tuesday. She will go to the courts. She's currently in the women's prison. She will go to the courts with her lawyer and they are going to apply for bail. If you listen to the Poisoned podcast today, there was a police or detective or something on there, and he was explaining that she will probably be granted bail because he doesn't imagine she's a threat to anyone basically except her daughter, but she can't see her daughter, and they don't think there should be a flight risk, like she's not going to go into hiding. But there'd probably be conditions on the bail, and they explained it all in the podcast. But yeah, apparently she will be probably applying for bail on Tuesday and will probably get it, which means she'll still have to go through the court case, but she can live out of jail while that happens until they decide what her sentence is going to be, which may or may not be jail. What else have we got? Have I missed the Veruca stuff? No, not yet. What's going on with Michelle Andrews from Shameless? She is on personal leave. Hope she's okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't like to speculate about the reason I think she might be on personal leave, so I might just leave it at that. If anyone else knows, maybe you can say, but yeah. Has anyone tried to sue you or give you lawyer letters? I've been given some legal letters from Karina Irby and that influencer giveaways thing, but it was more just like notice of legal action. It wasn't actual legal action. It was just like, take this down or we will pursue legal action. All right, next story is Veruca Salt, for that person who was just asking. So yes, she has started a GoFundMe this week for fertility treatment. So she explained that the father of her first child, Cash, who sadly passed away at 6 weeks old from SIDS, the father lives in America and she would love to have another baby with him, but they are not in a relationship. And to get him over to Australia, she would need to pay for him to fly. He has bills to pay and he wouldn't be able to work for the time that he's here. And obviously, like, you can only try once every month, because she would use the fertility specialist and use IUI, which is where he, into a thing and it gets put up inside her and hopefully it takes. But then if the first round didn't work, hopefully he could stay here for a second round. So she was saying she would need 6,000 Australian dollars to make that happen. Yeah, $6,000. She did up the target to $10,000 after it reached over $6,000. But I mean, yeah, go for it, girlfriend. Honestly, like it's very different. I've never seen anyone do this before. But if people want to give her money for it, well then good on her for making that happen. And yeah, if her second baby is going to be good for her, well then that is really good, I guess. She also has said here that she doesn't do brand deals because they don't come her way, because people then like, well, what's your financial situation? Like you were saying on TikTok recently that you spend $25,000 a month. She's now backtracked on that. She did say the minimum she spends per month is $5,700, and she listed all of the bills that she pays, including $3,800 for rent. So yeah, she needs at least $5,700 a month, but yeah, she was saying she spends 25 grand a month, and I guess that is from OnlyFans, of which she said that by the time OnlyFans take 20%, then you have to pay taxes, then you have to pay an agency fee, you're pretty much left with nothing, and that it doesn't make you rich and that you should go to school. She wrote go to school. And yeah, so it seems like she's not getting much from OnlyFans. She's not getting much from brand deals. She mentioned repetitively that she has been providing content for people for free for 5 years now. So I'm guessing that's like, all of her updates and stuff that she puts on Instagram and TikTok. She doesn't get paid for that. It's more of like a marketing exercise. She did touch on her friendship with Michael Finch. She said that she misses their friendship, and it ended shortly after Cash's passing. Then she added the details because somebody paid her to answer the question. She was saying, like, if you pay me into my GoFundMe, I will answer any question that you want. And she said, my baby died and I became a miserable bitch, so he didn't want to be my friend anymore, and then I blocked him. So yeah, that is all we know about that friendship. That is the first we've heard anything. So I did find that quite interesting, but I feel like it's very far from the full story. I can't imagine... Well, what does she mean by she was a bitch? Like, yeah, I don't know. She has had a lot of falling outs with a lot of people. So, yeah, I guess it's not that unusual for her, but I don't know what the full story would be on that one. But yeah, if you have donated to Veruca's cause, let me know. I want to talk about it. What are people saying? Imagine, insane she has a GoFundMe when last week she was saying how she used to spend $50,000 a week or something. Yeah, that definitely came up. Tell her to get a job. I feel like she sort of can't get a job. Like, I suppose she could, but is she a bit famous? Like, she can't really work at Woolies. I suppose she could get like an office job or something, but I suppose OnlyFans probably does pay more than that. And also somebody, when I posted this on my subscription, a subscriber wrote to me saying that they have a brand and they've actually reached out to her to work with her before, but she didn't even respond. So that was quite interesting. But also I feel like she's quite controversial. A lot of brands would probably be a bit hesitant to work with her. She studies, somebody said. Interesting. I haven't seen her mention that she studies, but yeah, that very well could be true. All right, and then the final story I've got is Skye Wheatley. So she did a big Q&A today and mentioned a lot about her surgeries. So interestingly, like, she was talking, like, answering quite a few questions to the Q&A, and I did notice this before she mentioned it, but when she's mentioned here that when she blinks, her eyes don't move at the same time, and that is since her eye surgery. But yeah, if you watch, like, only because I was watching so carefully, I don't even know why, but she just had the camera very close on her face, I guess. And yeah, when she would blink, one eye would be like slightly open still, or maybe slightly slower than the other one. Don't know. I don't know what it was, and I was like, am I making that up? But then she wrote it and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, she definitely doesn't blink in sync. And her honest thoughts about her eye surgery, she's written, I'm honestly so unstable. I couldn't even tell you. Some days I feel like I look like a bug and try to find the Mortine so I can have a little nap. Don't know what that means. And other days I think I look no different and should be booking for round 2 in 2025. So yeah, some days she feels like she looks weird, I suppose. And other days she wants to have more eye surgery to, like, I guess, get it redone or get it pulled back even more. Not sure. I feel like it's very toxic messaging, especially for young people, but not even young people, like people my age can still be affected by this sort of messaging. But yeah, I feel like it's very scary to read this stuff. Like, I don't know, some people would be thinking that she loves the surgeries, other people would be thinking, oh, she hates it. It's very mixed messaging, and yeah, it's confusing. Another person wrote that they're thinking of getting a nose job due to health complications, and are there any long issues with Skye's nose job? So why are you asking Skye Wheatley for advice about nose jobs? Like, that is a concern to me. Anyway, she's written, apart from not being able to breathe, not really. So it seems that post nose job, she cannot breathe properly, which to me seems absolutely horrendous to do that for your aesthetic. She didn't even do it for, like, reasons. Like, what was the reason that they said? Health complications. Skye didn't even do it for health complications, I don't believe. I think she did it because just for aesthetics. And I remember at one point, the creases here, the stitching had come apart and there was like a hole in her face and she had to go get that redone. I remember this happened years ago. She didn't mention that in the Q&A though. Another question they asked was, another person asked was, are you happy with your boobies? I'm looking at going through the same doctor. And she wrote, very happy, but sometimes I wish I could see myself again with my natural boobies. I think natural boobies are absolutely beautiful, more beautiful than fake boobies. And Forrest has really thrown me with that booby comment. I hope he doesn't grow up ever wanting to change himself. Makes me so fucking sad. I know, right? I'm a hypocrite. Sorry, Mum, I love you. Also, you're all beautiful the way you are. I know it sounds crazy coming from me because I don't see it when I look at myself, but I'm working on it, I guess. And I think every one of you is beautiful the way you are. So that's a start, right? So that comment about Forrest, her son, was he saw her in the shower, I think it was yesterday, and he said to her, are your boobs fake? And she said, well, yeah, they are, because she didn't want to lie to him. And then he was like, okay. And that was all it was. But she was like, where did he even get that in his mind that boobs can be fake, sort of thing? And yeah, she feels sick at the thought of him thinking he would need to change something about his appearance. And yeah, I totally agree. she did not need to change anything about her appearance. But also at the same time, if she didn't do all this surgery, she wouldn't be where she was today, because that's what she's famous for. She's famous for her surgeries and her turbulent life, I suppose. And yeah, that's where it's gotten her. All right, what are people saying about that? Oh wow, there's lots of comments coming through now. She's got the worst body dysmorphia. She picks at herself so badly. Yeah, I believe she has admitted that she feels she has dysmorphia. She's going to get more surgery this year, I bet. Yeah, she's mentioned many times she wants to get more surgery. Poor Skye, she's really conflicted. Yeah, she is. I suppose because everyone's constantly telling her she's so gorgeous and doesn't need more, but she's like, but I want more. She'll end up looking like Madonna. It feels like yesterday she was on Big Brother. She's mentioned she loves surgeries. Yes, she was going to be the next Katie Price. Her nose wasn't bad. Yeah, I'm sure her nose was perfectly fine, just like her boobs were perfectly fine and her eyes were perfectly fine. That's the crazy thing about it. The fact she asks people what they think is wrong with her, like she opens herself up for criticism, and I can imagine people would be rude for no reason. Absolutely they would be. She mentioned in this Q&A that like she gets a lot of hate messages and stuff, and she just doesn't even care anymore because, yeah, I can't remember what her reason was, but yeah, she's able to block it all out. Oh, this person's mentioned that maybe their breathing issues aren't to do with the nose job and maybe their sinus issues. Go and see a therapist, girl. Lockie is the problem. I feel like she had a lot of these surgeries prior to Lockie. Definitely the nose and boobs. I just pointed to my shoulder. Boobs. He doesn't love her. Okay. If he loved her, she'd be happy. Maybe kids have said stuff to Forrest at school. Mum's chatting about her, etc. Yeah, that's possible. God, school. He's likely heard her talk about it. That was my immediate thought. I thought he probably would be listening to her talking to the camera and things. I know my kids do. Someone missed what her son said. He said, "Mum, are your boobs fake?" To which she responded with, "Yes, they are," because she didn't want to lie to him. That's all he said. Have you spoken about M's hen yet? Yes, I did at the start, but I'll put this on YouTube, of course, and Spotify and Apple and all the things if you want to listen. The surgeries have made her look great, but the eyes were so unnecessary. Yeah. Well, a lot of people saying that it's Lockie that makes her insecure. That's so interesting. I hadn't thought of that. All right, I'm at the end. So thank you all so much for joining tonight. Yeah, I feel like the Skye Wheatley story really popped off. But yeah, if you do have any further questions, definitely send me a DM because I love talking about influencers. And of course, I am putting updates to subscribers every single day. So I'm guessing most of you subscribe anyway. And yeah, I hope you all have a really good long weekend. And I might see some of you in Portland. All right, I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.